Hey Meg, are you there? I was just double checking that you were going to the doctor's office today, right? Have you already gone? Or are you still at home?
No, I already went, actually. My appointment was this morning. What about you, Dan? Did you just start your lunch break?
Yeah, about 3 minutes ago. This morning has been so slow. I was waiting all day up to now so that I could text you. So anyways, how did the doctors go? Did they have anything to say? How are things looking?
Well, they did a sonogram and ran over some other tests, and it seems like the baby's doing really well. And since I'm this close to having it, they really aren't concerned about any kind of freak incidents happening suddenly. They said that as far as they could tell, I'm on track to have the baby according to when they said I would.
I see. Well then it all sounds like good news to me. That's such a relief. And just to double check, if the doctor said that you'd have the baby according to the date they predicted for you, would that mean we'd be looking at the start of next month?
Yep, pretty much around then, although you can never know for sure with this thing, right? So it might be a couple of days before or after that window, but I take it that you've already asked your boss for the time off, right?
Well, yeah, I did ask, but I was only able to get a few days off of work anyways. He told me that even though it's my break time, that I can't just take off huge amounts all of a sudden. But I'll talk to him about it a little more. Maybe at the very least I can arrange some kind of work from home deal or something like that.
Of course, you do what you need to do to make sure things go okay at your office. Oh, right. That reminds me, I meant to ask you, did you say anything to that coworker of yours? What's his name? Ted?
You're asking me if I said anything to Ted? Like what? What should I have said?
Well, it's just his wife actually came over not that long ago. She came over asking if I could teach her how to bake after I'd given birth. But she specifically asked if I could teach her how to make a bundt cake, even though I've never ever made one of those before.
Wait, really? Are you sure? You mean to tell me you've never made a bundt cake before? What do you call those little small ones that you made last year of the New Year's party?
Dan, are you talking about the cupcakes that I made? Did you really think those were called bundt cakes? They're two completely different things. She'd be better off just following some recipe online.
Well, I don't really see what the difference is. If you can bake one thing, you can probably bake a bunch more then, right?
I really don't think that's how it works, and I certainly wouldn't be comfortable teaching someone something I don't know how to do. But more important than that, you really have to quit fibbing to people about me, Dan. I mean, you tell people that I can do basically anything, and then they come to me asking for it.
And you really think that's all because of what I tell people about you?
Of course that's what I think it's all about, but do you have any idea just how much work I've had to do so that those people don't get disappointed?
Word? What are you talking about? What have you done?
I mean that you had that other friend who you told that I could speak Spanish to, remember? I don't speak any Spanish.
But that isn't true though. I mean, you told me you were pretty good at it when you took it in high school.
Yeah, and it's only gotten worse since. Besides, you told this person that I would teach them how to speak Spanish. But I've never once taught anything to anyone. Why do you keep telling these kinds of lies to people? Do you have any idea how embarrassing it is when I have to tell them that I have no idea how to do what they think I do?
Is it really that bad? I think that sounds kind of funny to me.
Well, I'm not laughing at all, Dan. I am really happy that you can talk about me freely to your friends and coworkers. But I'm only asking that you just tell them things about me that are actually true. Is that really so much to ask for?
Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have sent that last message. But, I mean, you really do so much already. And thanks to me, everyone in my office thinks that you're amazing. That's a good thing, right?
Dan, I think we've talked about this before, but ever since I was little, people always told me that I could do anything just because I'm pretty. And thanks to that, I actually suffered a lot of embarrassment when I couldn't do any of it. It was a lot to put on a kid, and I still carry those feelings with me, especially when your coworkers come around asking me for things.
Alright. I think you did tell me something about this before actually. But anyways, if you're really so against seeing any of my coworkers, does that mean that you're going to miss the company barbecue that's coming up?
It feels like you're just trying to change the subject here when I'm trying to tell you about how I feel.
No, I'm not trying to change the subject. I'm just putting a pin that so that we can talk about the barbecue really quick. I mean, I think some people are gonna bring their whole families, so I really would appreciate if you could come.
I'm really sorry, Dan, but I can hardly stand the smell of meat cooking as it is. I just don't see that happening. Besides, it's already so hot this summer, I don't think I could be outdoors for that long.
I guess you have a point there. But that really sucks. I was hoping we could have gone together.
Well, sorry it didn't work out this time. Maybe next year. And again, just please be a little more careful with what you tell others about me, okay? I understand wanting to brag about your wife, but let's keep the brags within the realm of things I can actually do.
Yeah. I promise to watch what I say around people. Jeez. Anyways, I've got to get back to work now. As for you, you're pregnant. So you really should learn to relax and take things easier.
Thanks for that, Dan. I'll do my best to take things easy from here on. Hope you have a good rest of the day at work.
Hey Meg, what are you doing right now? So happy to be at home at the moment.
Yep, I'm at home, pregnant as ever. I take it you've already arrived at your company barbecue then? You know, I can hardly even get myself off the couch as I am right now. But I hope that you're having fun. How is it over there?
Oh, it's really fun. Lots of people here and we are all having a good time. But I'm actually going to be coming home now. So get ready to leave the house when I get back, okay?
Wait, what? You mean you're already coming home from the event? And just where are we going that I need to get ready to leave? Where are we going?
Well, I'm going to be bringing you to the barbecue as well. So just get ready for me to pick you up and we can go.
Hold on a second, Dan. I thought that we already talked about this. I told you that I wouldn't be able to go. You said okay, remember? What changed since then?
Yeah, I did say that I was okay with it. But now I have people here who are asking where you are and want to meet you.
As in people from your work that want to meet me? People like who?
You remember last year how that new girl joined our company, right? Well, she wants to meet the wife that I've been bragging about this whole time.
I think I remember you mentioning something about the new hire, but I don't get why she would want to meet me.
I guess that she's just come to really admire you after all that she's heard. This is a good thing.
She's come to admire me? What does that even mean? How can she admire me if we haven't even met? I'm sorry, Dan, but I'm just really confused right now.
Well then let me explain. Thanks to me, my whole office thinks that you're a beautiful woman, an amazing cook, and a jack of all trades. You must be so happy to hear all of this though, right? I mean, this is great for you.
Dan, I thought that we talked about this before. You said that you would stop telling people in your office lies about me, remember? Please, it's really embarrassing when they ask me about all these things that I just can't do. I know that you're just wanting people to be excited about meeting your wife, but it really does put me in an awkward spot.
I'm sorry, but I don't see anything wrong with what I'm doing. I know that you don't want to come and meet this coworker. I'm going to insist that you do come.
Are you serious right now? You're seriously going to insist that I go to this barbecue with you even though I told you I can't?
Please. Don't you care at all about my reputation here at the office? I am your husband and I am inviting you to this event. You are going to make me look really bad if you just turn me down, you know? How am I supposed to save face around here if you're not doing what I say?
Dan, you do realize that I am on the verge of giving birth to our child, right? I mean, I could go into labor any day now, basically. And I am telling you that I don't want to be standing outside at a hot barbecue and smell meat cooking all day.
Oh, come on. Do you really think the weather is so bad that something's gonna happen to you? You're going to be just fine. Don't worry so much.
Dan, you can't just brush off all my worries by telling me not to worry. Besides, this isn't just about me. This is about the baby as well. Aren't you worried about what will happen if I get heat stroke or something?
Of course I'm not, because that isn't going to happen. I'll be right there looking after you. Don't worry. If you ever get tired, you can just tell me and it'll be all okay.
Really? Because for some reason I just can't bring myself to believe that.
You mean that you can't believe something your own husband is telling you? What's the matter with you? Besides, I need you here at the barbecue so that I could put you to work.
Put me to work? What does that mean? You aren't seriously going to ask me to do things there, are you?
You mean you really think you can just show up, eat food, and then go home without doing anything? Come on now, I've been telling everyone here about how amazing you are. You have to show up and do something to impress them. Think of how embarrassed I'll be if you can't even do that. Anyways, I'm already on my way over to pick you up. Ugh, you really have some serious nerve, do you know that? I mean, did you really have to go and faint in the middle of the barbecue and in front of all my coworkers? You totally ruined the reputation I set up for you. I don't even know what else to say except that I'm very, very disappointed in you.
Excuse me? You're disappointed in me? You've got to be kidding me. Dan, I can't believe you actually just said that. I am seriously getting sick and tired of you.
And just who do you think you are to take that kind of tone with me, huh? This is all your fault. If you didn't pass out, then my boss would have never scolded me in front of everyone. Can you believe that they put all the blame on me for what you did? Don't you dare try to spin this against me too. No one is spinning anything against you. Certainly not me, your boss. What are you talking about? You're not boss. Is that supposed to be some kind of joke or something? Oh no, it's no joke at all. This is your boss speaking to you, or should I say, former boss. Since as of today, you are fired. Wait, Tony, is that really you? What on earth are you doing with my wife? Well, your wife had her accident at our company event, so of course I went to the hospital to go and visit her, and apologize for what happened. And that was when she talked about the kind of idiotic things you've been saying to her. Well, I got upset that I asked Meg if I could borrow her phone and have a little word with you. Okay. I believe that it's really you, but I'm not really fired, right? I mean, you didn't really mean it when you said that, did you? Oh, I was very serious and I still am. I better not see you at work tomorrow. Now hold on just a second. Don't you think that's just taking things a little bit too far? I mean, this has to be illegal or something. I'm sorry. But after what I've learned about you, I just don't want to be working in the same office as you. But why? I didn't even do anything. It was my wife who caused the scene, not me. Are you really trying to pin this all on your pregnant wife? I can't believe that you would do that. How can you call yourself her husband? She should be the most important thing in the world to you. And this whole time you were just trying to use her to score points at the office. Tony, I'm sorry, but I don't think it's appropriate for you to be stepping into this matter. This is between my wife and I would appreciate your understanding. All that being said, please don't fire me. Well, if you'd like, we could take this matter to court and see what a judge has to say about your firing. But this isn't fair. You can't take me to... You're the one trying to fire me. And I'll make sure that the court knows exactly why keeping you around would be bad for the company. By the way, I wouldn't bother trying to visit your wife in the hospital. She's asking me to tell you that she never wants to see you again. Not only that, but she also wants to get a divorce as well. She's telling me to tell you that the next time you hear from her, it'll be through her lawyer. Have a nice life, Dan.
It wasn't long after that I went into labor, but I would never have guessed that I would be signing divorce papers as soon as it was born. I heard later from Tony that Dan was ultimately fired as well. During the divorce proceedings, I was able to get a hefty payment from Dan for the danger that he put our child and I in. He was also ordered to pay child support until our baby was an adult. Dan decided to settle the child support issue with one large payment. Apparently, he couldn't stand the shame of his family and office knowing what he had done. He wanted to get the divorce process over and done with as soon as possible. After it was all done and over, I never heard from Dan again. I know it'll be hard to raise this child on my own. Sometimes I wonder if it wouldn't have been better to stay with Dan. But then I think of what that would mean making my child grow up with. No matter what, I don't regret what I've done.
Hello, Mary. Do you have a moment? Oh, hello. Should I still be calling you by your first name? I don't know if it's right for me to be calling you Mom just yet, you know? I think you're right. It's too soon for you to be calling me Mom. I'm not your mother. Yet, anyways. Oh, sorry to put you on the spot like that. Well, let's start over then, shall we? Hello, Hillary. Thanks for coming to meet me and my parents the other day. It was great to finally meet you.
Yes, that's the thing. Don't mention it.
So, what can I do for you today?
I have a question for you, and I would appreciate an honest answer. You and my husband work at the same company, do you not? And furthermore, you recently started working in the same department together. Is that true?
Yes, that's right. Actually, I heard from Andrew a while ago that his dad was working at the same company as me. But I was totally surprised when I walked into the room where you two were waiting, and who should I see but the person who just got transferred into my branch recently? It was a total surprise.
Well, I suppose our family name is somewhat of a common one, so it doesn't surprise me one bit that you wouldn't suspect that we were related when you saw that we had the same last names. But that's not the issue I'm here to discuss today. The issue is your reproachable behavior towards my husband.
What? I'm sorry, I don't understand. Did I do something that offended him?
Offended? Oh, that's nowhere near strong enough a word to describe your attitude towards my husband. When I left to go to the little girl's room, I saw him apologizing profusely to you, and you were lecturing him like he was a school child. I know my eyes were not deceiving me to see that horrible behavior.
Oh, I'm sorry that you had to see that.
Oh, how dare you behave that way toward the man who will be your future father-in-law! And not to mention, he's been with the company far longer than you have. He must be well above your rank, obviously. And in spite of all that, you were behaving like you were his superior. How shameless of you. I bit my tongue at the time out of concern for my son's feelings for you, but I cannot contain my anger any longer. If you're willing to apologize to me right now for your awful behavior, I'm willing to overlook it. But if you don't, then I withdraw my permission for you to marry my son and my blessings on a happy wedding.
Are you serious?
I am very serious, and I will not accept any excuses from you, Mary. Either apologize to me, or you can forget being a part of this family.
Okay, just so you know, we were actually talking about something to do with work that day. And in your husband's position, really the only appropriate thing to do would be to apologize.
Excuse me?
Really, it was kind of a surprise for me too when he suddenly started acting like that. I told him it was okay and that he didn't need to apologize so much, but, you know, he just kept going. and I wish I can give you more information on what really went down, but like I said, it's company internal matters, so I'm contractually not able to divulge any information to uninvolved third parties such as yourself, ma'am.
Oh, don't talk to me with this legal jargon. What do you mean, internal matters?
I mean exactly what I said. It's a company matter, and since you're not involved, I'm not able to discuss it with you. I get that you'd like to know more about what happened, but please understand that I cannot tell you any more than I've already have.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. But in any case, it seems like you have no intention to apologize to me.
It's like I told you, I'm not the one who has anything to apologize for.
I see. So you have no remorse for treating your soon-to-be father-in-law. So be it. I will not allow you to marry my son, and the wedding is off!
I don't think you're in any position to make that call, Hillary.
I think this goes without saying, but the fault in the situation lies 100% with you, Mary. As such, you'll be responsible for paying for all of the venue cancellation fees. I'll be contacting our lawyer very shortly, and we'll be suing you for that and for the pain and suffering that you have caused this family. Andrew?
Hey, Mary. What's up?
This is bad. Really bad.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Your mom saw your dad apologizing to me at your house the other day.
Oh, boy.
She texted me about that just now. And she is really, really mad. Which, in all fairness, I don't really blame her, considering that she doesn't know the whole circumstances. But still, this is bad. She said that if I don't apologize to her for that she's gonna make us break off our engagement.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
I had literally just made an explicit promise not to tell anyone about what happened, so it's not like I can just up and spill the beans to her.
Oh, why are my parents always doing things like this? They're inseparable to the point that I almost never see one without the other in the same room, and yet when trouble rears its ugly head, they take completely opposite approaches.
It seems like you're pretty used to this kind of thing from them, huh?
Sorry about that, I just felt the urge to vent. Anyway, for now, I'd like to see the texts Mom sent you, if you wouldn't mind. Is it okay if I head over to your place right now?
Yeah, come on over, it's fine.
Okay, I'll be there in just about an hour or so.
Alright, I'll be waiting for you.
Hello there, Mary. Have you prepared yourself for the impending breakup with my son? I haven't heard a thing from you ever since I gave you my ultimatum, so now I'm forced to message you like this. I grow more disappointed with you by the day. How long were you going to keep me waiting? You really are an impudent little girl, aren't you? If you're trying to wait it out and hope I forgive you, it's not going to work. I will not consent to this marriage until you've given me a proper apology.
If I may be so bold, I'm marrying Andrew, not you. Why exactly do I need to have your consent?
Oh, excuse me?
I doubt that Andrew would want to break off our engagement because I won't apologize over a situation in which I did nothing wrong. And frankly, I'm perplexed that you would simply assume that I was in the wrong rather than talking to your husband and finding out what actually happened. That's very immature of you.
I'm at a loss of words for you, Mary. To think that you would speak in such an uncivilized manner to the mother of the man you're hoping to marry!
Hoping?
Yes, hoping! I haven't opened up my consent for you just yet, have I?
Oh, I must have missed where we established that I even needed your consent.
You little... Stop interrupting me! I'm giving you the lecture that you deserve right now!
Oh, right. By all means, go ahead.
If a family were like a company, then the mother-in-law is like the superior and the daughter-in-law is the subordinate. And subordinates are supposed to listen to their superiors, correct? If you were to fuss and fret and whine over an order your superior at the company gave you, well, how do you think that would go? Obviously, no superior would stand for that sort of subordination. You would be punished severely, and you would be demoted. Your pay would be cut, you'd be transferred, and your professional life would be finished. Surely even someone of your intellectual capacity could understand what I just explained.
Yes, I understand perfectly.
So I take this to mean that if someone at a real company actually was repeatedly insubordinate to their superior, then you'd have no issues with that subordinate receiving those type of punishments you laid out, correct?
Exactly.
Subordinates should know their place. A subordinate who does not and openly disrespects his superior should not go unpunished.
Hillary, you are so smart, and I agree with you. All right, that settles it. Looks like your husband is getting transferred.
What?
Technically, the final call isn't mine to make, but you should probably operate under the assumption that it's going to happen, so I think you should start preparing accordingly to this.
Wait, what nonsense are you talking about?
You know, I'm sure you're about to become very busy. Since you're going to be moving soon, you should probably start looking for a new house or an apartment, as soon as you get the word of where he's being transferred to.
Wait, Mary, what are you talking about? What are you rambling about right now?
So, sorry, I gotta go. I have some stuff to do. I need to get back to work.
Hello there, Mary. It's been so long since we've seen each other. Would you like to come over and have some afternoon tea with me someday soon? Maybe tomorrow.
What are you doing?
A friend of mine gave me a box of the most wonderful tea the other day, and I knew I had to share it with you. Oh, and I'm also going to pick up some cake from that new pastry shop downtown. Are you free this weekend? I'd love to have you over to our house if you don't mind.
I guess this is your last-ditch effort to stop the inevitable, huh?
Well,
don't you think you're laying it on a wee bit too thick right now, Hillary?
Mary, I guess you finally heard the truth then.
About my husband and your husband's position in the company.
I heard everything. Come to find out, my husband is a complete useless employee who keeps getting sent around to different departments once he makes too much of a mess for them to deal with. And 3 months ago, he got sent to a new department to work under a young and upcoming leader in the company who happens to be you, Mary. He was frustrated and embarrassed that someone as young as you was placed above someone else who has been in the company as long as him. So he got desperate to prove himself and started working at a faster pace than ever before, which ended up causing a world of problems for your clients and other departments. And since you're his direct superior, you're the one who always had to clean up for his messes.
Yeah, that just about covers it. So the reason he was apologizing that day when you came over to meet my parents and I was because he was so shocked to learn that his son's fiancée was none other than the boss he had been causing so much trouble for at the office. And he was desperate to keep you from finding out about what a total disaster his career has been. He was begging me not to tell you that I was his boss. And I had to stop him from getting on his knees and begging me, and that's probably why you thought that I was lecturing him. So you weren't lecturing my husband, you were just trying to get him to maintain his dignity. Oh, and by the way, I guess he was counting on Andrew taking his side and helping to convince me to help him out. He was all like, "You're a man too, son, aren't you? You must know what sort of position I'm in." But Andrew wasn't going for it at all. He just let out a huge sigh and walked out of the room. I see. So that's what happened. I've always been the type to have a pretty solid separation between my work life and my private life. And since our relationship at work would probably only serve to cause problems between us as a family, I didn't have any intentions of bossing him around outside of work. At first, anyway. Then I found out what your husband had been doing at the office ever since he found out I was marrying Andrew. He's been name-dropping me at the company and trying to get other people to give him credit for their work. Like threatening to get them fired if they didn't do as he demanded. He did. I received multiple complaints of that nature from multiple employees in my department. So I made a report of my own to my superior. And as a result, it's been decided that your husband is getting transferred to a branch in, well, the middle of nowhere. Oh no. Oh yes. And you should be grateful, honestly. Most people who screwed up as bad as your husband actually would just get fired for everything they've done. And I bet the only reason he didn't was because the CEO took pity on him. He didn't want to just kick a man your husband's age on the curb with no future employment prospects. Mary, isn't there anything you can do about this? Sorry, Hillary, but the decision is already out of my hands. What's done is done. So no, I'm afraid sucking up to me now isn't going to get you anywhere. You'll either have to move out into Nowheresville with your husband, or make him go by himself while you stay here alone in your house. This can't be happening! I suppose there is a third option. You could always divorce him, but that's about all you have in terms of options when you really think about it. I can't do that! I haven't worked in years, and I can't get divorced at my age! Okay, well, then you're just going to have to talk to your husband about this. What you do from here on out is an issue between the two of you that has nothing to do with me. Wait, I've got it! I know how we can make this all work out. Oh, really? Okay, let's hear it. I'll give you my permission to marry Andrew, and you can move in with us. And if you do that, then I'm sure that everything will work out, whether I divorce my husband or he moves away by himself. That is definitely not happening. Why not? Andrew has been pretty firm since day one that he did not want to move in with you at any point in the future. And I'm respecting my future husband's wishes. But I'm sorry, Hillary, but I really don't see the point of continuing this conversation. I'm just going to keep repeating myself at this point. Mary, please! I'm signing off now. After that, I understood Andrew's parents got into a massive fight. Hillary needed someone to finance her lifestyle, and her husband needed someone to take care of all of the housework. And since neither of them were likely to find a replacement for the other at their age, they decided not to get divorced. So the not-so-happy couple set off for their new life in Nowheresville. However, it didn't take long for her husband to screw up big time, no surprise to anybody, again, in his new post. And this time, they actually were fed up and let him go. And this was apparently too much of a strain for their relationship to handle, so they are getting a divorce this time. They've both been messaging and calling Andrew complaining about the whole situation, but he only ever gives them the same simple response every time. You're getting what you deserve! Andrew is finally fed up with them and wants to cut them out of our lives. So we're making preparations to move in secret so they won't know where to find us. I'm glad to see that he's finally free from having to deal with their nonsense after all these years. And we decided that we didn't want our marriage to resemble his parents in any way, shape, or form. So when we got married the other day, he took my last name instead.